Hello, everybody. This is MoveEasy Yoga with Via. It is January 9th, 2021. So we're going to start in the same way we usually do, just lying on your back, supine. With your knees bent, you could have your bent knees up on a chair. Just watching your breath. This is just a chance to slow down and notice your breath and the air around you and the noise or silence around you. Pat yourself on the back for coming. Start to focus on that point behind your eye sockets. There's a little point where the occipital nerve crosses, and then a little bit below that, if you can imagine all of that, is your pituitary gland. This is a very quiet place to rest your attention. Just watching your breath. Bring your hands behind your head for vagus nerve reset. Without moving anything except your eyeballs. Shift your eyeballs to the right, and wait for a sigh, swallow, yawn, or gulp. Come back to center, shift your eyeballs to the left, wait for a sigh, swallow, yawn, or gulp. Come back to center. Do this 2 more times, right, left, without my cueing. Finish that up. And then keep your hands where they are if your hands are still comfortable. And press. This is head ramping, just pressing the back of your head or the base of the occipital ridge, the base of the skull, into your hands, into your blanket or your mat, into the floor. While you're here, try to squeeze your shoulder blades together, your scapula. This is an addition bonus. And stay here and then release. And then do it again, head ramping. Try to squeeze your shoulder blades together while you're here waiting. Keep breathing, release. Do that 3 more times. Head ramp, shoulder blades, breath. and finish up. We're going to do the same breathing exercise we did last time. You're going to lie on your side. The top arm is elbow bent and just resting on your side. And then just roll your rib cage back, but keep your knees forward and stacked. So as stacked as you can get them, so that you're not moving your hips backward, just your torso. We've done this a lot in other moves. And then find your favorite breathing exercise. It can be just watching your breath. It could be making your exhale longer than the inhale. It could be Viloma breath. This is focusing on just one side of your lungs. So this is, you won't be breathing into the bottom lung very much at all. And then come on back and flip to the other side and breathe on the other side, on the other lung. So remember, your knees are stacked and even so that you're not rolling your hips back, your top hip back, just the top shoulder back. Opening up the chest, breathing into the lungs on the top. Finding your favorite breath. Finish up, find your way onto your back, supine for hypopressives. We're going to do the classic hypopressive, where you keep your knees bent, your heels are on the floor, your toes are up off the floor towards the ceiling. Your arms hug a tree in front of your chest, and then flip your hands towards the ceiling. Activate the hands by pressing into the sky. Activate the scapula by pressing into the floor. Your arms should be rounded, strong and rounded. Three breaths, I'll cue them, and then holding your breath out for 14 count. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. All the way out. Hold your breath out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Inhale and exhale. Go ahead and extend your legs. Cross your right ankle over your left. Bring your arms up to your chest. Stack your left hand on top of your right, and then bring both arms overhead. This is actually a wrist stretch too, so straighten your elbows if you can. And 3 breaths. 1, inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. All the way out. Hold your breath out, no breaths. While I count to 14. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. That's enough. Inhale and exhale, switch sides. Left ankle over right, your arms up over your chest, right hand on top, and straighten your arms overhead. 3 breaths. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale all the way out. Hold your breath, no breath. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Inhale and exhale, let it all out. If you have incontinence, bladder or fecal incontinence, if you have a prolapsed organ, if you want to whittle your waist, do more of those in your home practice. Now, let's go to floor-seated position. Find your favorite floor-seated position. We're just going to do the basic, some basic floor-seated position poses, starting with a side bend. Oh, I want to tell you guys something, show you guys that I don't have my brace on anymore, my sling on anymore. So I can't move all the ways that you can move, but I don't have it immobilized so that there's an possibility of moving, and it'll get better. So just going ahead, side bend, sliding the right arm out to the side. And then the arm up and over. Let me time this. Hold on, we're gonna get a bonus here. Go ahead and take your arm, elbow a little forward and get another stretch across the back, your armpit. And then bring your elbow up and then bring your torso up. Other side. Slide all the way out, one arm all the way out, other arm up and over. Just stay here, breathe. You know, you're also stretching, I feel the stretch in the back of my neck as well. I can't bring my arm up, so I'm not going to bring my top arm up. Keep both hips on the floor. Bring your elbow forward for a little different stretch. And bring your elbow back up and bring your body back up. So the reason I only do one of these or one or two sets of each of these is because I want to be sure you get a splatter, a smorgasbord of movements in this hour. But when you have your own home practice, you could do this a number of times. You could, spend 15 minutes doing 5 of these or whatever, just so you know. Let's do the side bend. The spine twist, sorry, to take your left hand, you can recross your legs, take your left hand and put it on your right knee, and then rotate your spine all the way to the back, put your right hand behind you. And we're going to start timing. While you're here, once you have and are maintaining your spine twist, you could start moving your rib cage from side to side. Don't use your shoulders. Don't use your trapezius. Feel like it's just happening at the rib cage. So unravel yourself. Go to the other side. Right hand on left knee. Left hand behind you. Spider fingers. So create and maintain your spine twist. That's one move. And then we're just adding spinal, just a side to side sliding, gliding of the rib cage. Come all the way back and switch your legs again. Oh no, now we're going to do the knee cross, stacked knees. So this is a hard one for some people. You might want to sit on a brick or a blanket to get there, or do your best. We're going to do a wrist. This is our first wrist exercise today. Just put your hands out and straight out in front of you. Back of the hand together. Lift your right hand and then bring it around in front of the other hand so you can clasp your hands. And then drop them down to the floor, to your belly, to your chin. I cannot do this yet. I'm not available. And I'm going to time it. This is the first wrist exercise, and we'll do a few more, some more of these, the ones we didn't get to the last class today. Just staying here and breathing and sitting tall, allowing your cow face on the bottom to open up the hips. And just breathing. Remember to relax your shoulders. So don't use your shoulders to do this exercise. The trapezius wants to do everything, actually, just like the lower back. Go ahead and unravel yourself out of this. Switch your legs. So be sure that you've changed to the other side. And then do the same thing. Arms out in front. This time the left arm lifts, goes around, and interlaces with its partner. Just folding down and forward, then up. You may be able to drop your wrists a little farther. I guess it's not available to me. I was trying to do it.
No.
I'm doing a modification. Okay, come out of that. And before we go on, let's do a deep squat for 3 minutes. So everyone, you can be supported with a brick. You can be sitting on a brick. You can be squatting without a brick, just squatting. You can, yeah, any version of a brick. Maybe you should show them the brick versions, Kathy. And if your heels don't meet the ground, then you should be putting something under them to have them meet the ground. So there's a brick. There's several, you have 3 sides to the brick. So we're going to stay here for 3 minutes. 3 minutes and 40 seconds, so I don't have to change the seconds. Just encouraging you, in addition to sitting on the floor, and this is one of the things this guy said in this article, that, I mean, these people I really respect. I borrow some of their some of their moves. But he said that, if you're trying to get something in the bottom shelf, squat, do a squat. Don't fold over. This is, this makes us, we could call ourselves the short people because we're seated on the floor and we're squatting. The folded people. Think of a name for us. We'll start a tribe.
The healthy people.
The healthy people.
Healthy people.
Right.
The flexible people.
The flexible people. Right. Or the squatty people.
Squatty people. Squatty.
Maybe not squatters.
Yeah.
I guess. No, we should take the name, the squatter name back. It has a bad connotation, but
Put a good spin on it.
Yeah.
The squattists.
The squat what?
Squat, T-I-S-T-S.
It's
Yeah.
the squattists. Well, that sounds, I can hear Caitlin's brain working there, trying to find a name for us.
Very creative.
I think maybe floor people, the floor people.
There you go. Rugrats.
Right.
I feel like I should be doing something.
You could be doing something. In some parts of the world, people eat squatting. They probably do other things. They garden squatting. You could, I do everything squatting or floor seated at my coffee table. If I have to work on a computer and stuff, hardly, even though I have a desk that rises, gets taller and stuff. I just don't go over there. Yeah. 47 seconds, you guys. You can do it. Okie dokie. Come back to a floor seated position. Your favorite floor seated position. We're going to do just some, we're going to do some finger work. We're going to do the finger spreads we did before, and then we're going to add on some things we didn't do before. So find your best floor seated position, or find another floor seated position. If you're always doing cross-legged, maybe do, someone called this something different than I'd ever heard before. I always call it an S or a Z, but oh, I've forgotten the name though. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is actually hold on to your wrist, you hold on to your right wrist to stabilize it, and then just do wrist circles. So you want to be sure that, and you can tuck your elbow into your waist or the front of your hips. What you want to be sure and do is have the circling movement come from the wrist, not the, the wrist, but not the forearm. Reverse. And then switch sides. Hold on to your wrist, the left with the right hand, and then rotate. You can rotate with your fingers spread or your fingers in a fist. It doesn't matter. And reverse. The next thing we're going to do is it starts with a prayer pose, but we're going to do a wrist stretch. So as you start in prayer pose, then take your, Kathy's switching, very good. Switching your legs. Take the fingers on your right hand away from you, and then drop them down so that they're facing the palms are still together, but the fingers are facing down on the right hand and up on the left hand. Press, 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 press. And breathe. And we'll do this for a little while. This is one of my favorite wrist stretches. Sit tall, everybody. So when you're floor seated, you should always be thinking good posture as well. And you may need, like in some positions, you might need a little lift on one hip to make it feel even, so you can get good posture. Go ahead and shake out your hands and go to the other side. Start in prayer pose. Switch your legs if you switch your legs. Start in prayer pose. The fingers go forward on the left hand, down. And so now you've just done the opposite. Just pressing in. Sitting tall. You can squeeze your shoulder blades together if you want. If you start to feel rounded in your upper back, that's one way to move yourself out of that, is to think of squeezing your shoulder blades together. Retracting scapula. The only caveat there is not to press your ribs forward. So you don't want to squeeze so hard that you've pressed your rib cage forward. Okay, end that, finish that, shake your hands. Now we're going to do the finger spreads we did last time, which are kind of fun, I think. Starting with the, you can find another seated position. You could sit on your knees, that's another one. Although if you do, can you show them sitting on knees, maybe with a brick between, sitting with your knees folded underneath you?
Oh.
Yeah, maybe with a brick underneath your buttocks. Well, some people will need to have a brick under the buttocks. Yeah, yeah, there you go. That's another position, another nice position. Okay, let's see here. What was I, oh, finger spreading. So you're going to use one hand to create resistance for the other hand. We're going to start with fingers closed, finger pairs closed. So starting on the right hand and close the baby finger and the ring finger with the other hand, with the fingers on the other hand. I have, let's see.
Are we forcing them open or forcing them closed?
We're forcing them closed. We're forcing them closed, keeping them closed and forcing them open. So
Okay.
trying to spread, but you're trying to spread, but you have to, the other hand is resisting the spread. So you're trying to press them open, but they don't go open, or they don't go open very far. And just stay here for just a couple seconds. And then move to the next pair, ring finger, middle finger. Hold them together and then try to press them open as you hold them together. This is all isometric, really. Makes your fingers a lot, and your hands a lot stronger. Next, forefinger and middle finger. You're holding them together, they're closed, and the other hand is trying to keep them closed while your fingers try to open. And then finally the thumb and the forefinger. Closed, but you're trying to open them. They're trying to open, but your other hand is not going to let them open. Other hand, ring finger, baby finger, closed. Try to open them. Your other hand doesn't let you open them. But you should feel it. You should feel getting stronger. With all the computer and phone stuff we do, this kind of work is really important. Go to the next pair, finger pair. Middle finger and ring finger. They're closed. The other hand is trying to keep them closed, but you're trying to open them.
Do we have to hold our arms up like Kathy? Or
Well,
is she just doing that to demo?
I'm trying to demonstrate. You can do it down here.
you can have your
Okay, thank you.
You can have your hands all the way into your lap, actually. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just trying to show you what I'm doing.
Yeah. And then the next pair. They're closed. You're trying to open them. But the other hand doesn't let you do that. And then finally the thumb and the forefinger. Sit up tall, everybody. Squeeze your shoulder blades a little bit together if you start to feel that you're rounding your shoulders. And stop, shake your hands if you want. And we'll do the other. There's actually three variations. Caitlin pointed that out to me once. There's another one, but we're going to do this one. So we're not going to do all three. So for this one, your baby finger and your ring finger are spread. And the fingers are going to try to stay spread while the other hand tries to push them together. So it's the opposite of what we just did. Spread your fingers, try to keep them spread. They will probably not totally stay spread. And then the next finger pair, ring finger, middle finger. And then finally, no, ring finger, forefinger now, middle finger, forefinger now. Next pair. Spread them. Try to keep them spread against the wishes of your other hand. And then last pair on this hand, thumb and forefinger, try to keep them spread while you try to close them with the other hand. And then go to the baby finger and the ring finger on the other hand. Start spread, but try to close them with your other hand, but resist. So this is resistance and isometrics. You should feel the work. If it's not hard, you're not doing it. You're not doing it right. Listen carefully. Watch Kathy carefully. Okay, next set. Ring finger, middle finger. Keep them spread. Try to close them. Resist, resist, resist. Squeeze your shoulder blades together if you start to feel your shoulders rounding. Next pair, middle finger, forefinger. Keep them spread. Try to close them. One of the contradictions of life is this exercise. I feel releases in my neck when I do this. So the fingers are definitely connected to the neck. Next and last, forefinger and thumb. Spread them and try to close them. And stop, shake your hands, get a little piece of paper. We're going to do another finger exercise using a piece of paper. Like a daily thing. Okay, so all you're going to do is starting, let's do the right hand first. You place you place the paper between the finger pairs. We're going to start with the little finger and the ring finger just because that's where we started last time. And then you're going to close the fingers over the paper and then try to pull on the paper while you try to keep don't pull it out, just pull. Squeeze and pull. And then move to the next one. Finger pair, squeeze and pull. Each finger pair is going to feel different. The next one. The last one is the thumb and the forefinger. Now start on the other hand, the baby and the ring finger. Pull, hold and pull. And then the ring finger and the middle finger. And then the middle finger and the forefinger. Don't let it go. And then finally the forefinger and the thumb. Yay, we did that. Let's go to standing. Stand up. We're going to do back bend at the wall and spine twist at the wall. So starting with your back, let's see, facing away from the wall with your back toward the wall. Good posture. So everything's stacked, ankle, knees, hips, shoulders, ears stacked. Then bring your arms up overhead and fingers or palms on the wall. I'm going to time this. For 40 seconds, it's a bone building pose, posture pose. One of my favorite poses. If you don't like this, you can do a back bend on a chair. I've demonstrated it in other classes. The trick is not to jut your hips forward. So keep your hips stacked over your knees so that this is a upper back bend. Open your chest and a chest opener. Building bone along the vertebra, which is the most vulnerable place for bone fractures if you have osteoporosis. Or it also helps prevent osteoporosis. So now let's do the spine twist, starting with the right side. So right shoulder is at the wall, then the right knee, the right leg forward, left knee behind. Go ahead and bend your elbows and rotate your thoracic spine. Keep your hips forwarding. That's a word. Well, it's usually used with regard to male, but
You just made it a yoga word.
just made it a yoga word. Just breathing and enjoying this twist. Slowly come out of this all the way to the other side. Switch sides. Do the same thing. Keep your hips forward. Rotate your spine towards the wall. Breathe. Come on back, unravel, find your way onto the floor on your hands and knees. We're going to do a wrist stretch, quadruped wrist stretch. You start in quadruped with your fingers spread. If you need to, you might put extra cushioning under your knees whenever you're in quadruped, actually. Okay, fingers spread. Fingers spread. And now you can rock the hips back a little and see if you get a little slightly different stretch. And you can rock back and forth. And then go ahead and come up onto your spider fingers so that the stretch is more in your fingers than your wrists. So, and then just go ahead and move back and forth. The farther your hips go back, the bigger the stretch. And then drop your hands again so you're very aware of your palms. And then go ahead and back and forth and see how you get a different stretch in the wrists depending on where your hips are and where your shoulders are. And you can experiment with bending and unbending your elbows also here. The last thing we're going to do quadruped with regard to wrists. One wrist at a time. Face the wrist towards your knee. Face your fingers towards your knee. And then you can also move back and forth. You should feel a really nice stretch along the outside, or the inside actually of your arm, although it looks like it's the outside now. Switch sides. And here too, I forgot to mention this on the other side, you can be working with your fingers up in spider, or you can be with your palm on the floor. So either one, the one is going to emphasize fingers, the other is going to emphasize wrist. Finish up and find your way onto the floor for back extension. Pilates back extension, actually. There's some yoga versions of this too. This is my favorite. Oops, I'm sorry, on your belly. I probably said on your back. I meant on your belly.
You're right. I was confused.
You were confused. Okay. Obviously one of us was confused. Okay. Now, your arms are beside your hips, palms up. Take an inhale to prepare, and then exhale, lift your chest, your arms, your head. Remember, your head is in a head ramping position. And let's just stay here for about 30 seconds. Just breathing. And this actually builds strong bones in the vertebra, upper back, but it also builds muscles along the side of the vertebra, side of the spine, which can also help if you're trying to reduce your fall risk. Make strong muscles less likely to fall. Inhale to prepare and exhale to return. Just rest for a minute. We're going to go back up and then we're going to do airplane with the arms straight out. But we'll come up in the way we did the first time. Take an inhale to prepare. And then exhale, lift. Nice. Take an inhale to prepare for airplane. And then exhale, the arms come out to the side. We're going to stay here for 30 seconds if you can. Come down early if you need to. While you're here, just breathing, and then sometimes you may want to come up a little, raise your chest a little bit higher. And breathing and feeling the strength that you're gaining in your back or back, right along the outside edges of the spine. Inhale to prepare and exhale to return. Go ahead and bring your arms out into airplane again, this time along the floor. We're going to do the thoracic release. I hope you missed this when we didn't do it last week. Look to the right, lift your right leg up and over. So the hips can do anything they want, the legs can do anything they want. The only rule here is to keep your shoulders, your armpits, and your arms on the floor. Come on back out of this. Switch sides, look left, left leg up and over. Keep your armpits on the floor. Come on back. Find your way onto your back, supine, with your knees bent or your legs extended or your knees bent and up on a chair. We're going to close with a yoga nidra practice. You want to you may want to cover yourself with a blanket. You may want to cover your eyes with a washcloth so that this allows your eyeballs to sink deeper into the sockets. I'm going to guide you through 61 points that you're all familiar with. Please just pay attention to the points. Don't judge yourself during that. This is not a contest, so just do your best. Starting with your breath, breathing in and breathing out. Watching the rise of the belly, the fall. And then bring your attention and your awareness to the center of your eyebrows, center of your throat, right shoulder, elbow, wrist, right thumb, second finger, third finger, fourth finger, fifth finger, right wrist, elbow, shoulder, center of your throat, left shoulder, elbow, wrist, left thumb, second finger, third finger, fourth finger, fifth finger, left wrist, elbow, shoulder, center of your throat, spiritual heart center, right side of your chest, heart center, left side of your chest, heart center, navel center, center of your pelvis, right hip, knee, ankle, right big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, fifth toe, right ankle, knee, hip, center of your pelvis, left hip, knee, ankle, left big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, fifth toe, left ankle, knee, hip, center of your pelvis, navel center, heart center, center of your throat, center of your eyebrows. This completes your 61-point guided Yoga Nidra meditation. Go ahead and extend your legs, bring your arms overhead by your ears, stretch your body in both directions, left, right, right and left, and then circle your ankles and your wrists. In both directions. Wiggle your fingers and your toes. And then go ahead and hug your right knee to your chest, just a big old hug. And then your left. Take your time, Hug both knees and rock from side to side. And roll all the way over to the floor in a fetal position. Using your top bottom arm as a pillow. With your top arm, this is another wrist stretch. Notice you're going to bend your wrist, press into your palms, and come up to seated. Without rounding your back. That's the point. I am going, everyone unmute themselves. I'm going to remove the spotlight. I'm going to change my view to gallery view. I can't do that for you, but you could do that for you. So we could all see each other to close the class. For some of you, you will be amazed that I can do a prayer pose now again. So let's go ahead and come into prayer pose. Press strongly your hands together. You should actually feel your shoulders and your upper back. And then gently. So now gently pressing your hands together. Lift your head, lift the occipital ridge up toward the ceiling so that you can rock the skull forward over the occipital ridge. The spine stays straight. This is a rock and roll of the skull. Nodding, bowing, noticing, recognizing and noticing the light in each of us. And then knowing that we're all one light. We'll close the class by saying to each other, Namaste.
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 Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Happy-
And thank you, Kathy.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kathy. I'm going to pause the recording, but we can stay on and chat if you want. I have a new system for that. I'll tell you about it beyond the pause.